I'm going to turn on the recording. And Elaine, will you need to share screen at all?
Not at all. No.
Okay, great. Then I will keep that like that. Great. Well, welcome everybody. This is really fun. I love it that Penny and Barbara are both here, and they're actually artists from my own community. So we're kind of shifting, I guess, going from so many authors to a whole bunch of artists, which is great. And so Barbara actually lives on the same road as Dee. And I think, doesn't Teddy? Yeah.
Teddy, but I don't know about Barbara.
Yeah, Slate Creek
Well,
Road.
Oh,
Dee,
Slate,
are
I'm on Little Deer Creek.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
And it just goes off of Slate Creek. So we're same neighborhood, same valley.
Still neighbors. And I didn't know Barbara at all, but I got the most fun email, and she's doing some really fun Instagram stuff. And so I said, oh my goodness, this is so perfect for our group. May I use you as an example? Because it's really, really creative and fun. So in the future, you can watch out for that. And Penny, I ran into when I was out shopping, and oh, that was so much fun to be shopping again and going into multiple stores and satisfying my shopaholic addiction. And we were in the same store shopping, and so I had been sending all of these emails to invitations to Penny, and I sometimes wonder if I'm a pest with people. You know, it's like I send these out, and so it was really serendipitous that we met in the store, and I could ask her if I was being a pest. And so
no, it was a good reminder. It was just a good kickstart.
That's what it was. Great. Yeah. And Sarah, welcome back. You have been out and doing fun things for several Fridays, and that's great. We missed you, but at least you were having fun. And Stephanie, always here, and Dee, always here. You guys are great. And JR, Dana was supposed to be here today, so she may pop in, and that would be really fun. Dana and I helped JR with one of her books editing, and so it was really fun when I heard this morning that Dana might be able to join us too. So I hope she will. And Gunhild, you got in, but do we not have video of you? Oh, there you are. You look beautiful in your picture, but I like to see you live. So welcome. Okay.
Hello, dear.
So I think we ought to get going. So it's 5 minutes after, and anybody who is coming will pop in when they are here. But let's just move on, because I really want Elaine to have plenty of time. I just feel so honored that she's here, and she has so much to offer you, all of you, and I hope that you have brought your questions. I know Gunhild posted a bunch of questions that are really good ones. I'm thinking you can probably ask them live, but I did copy them out and have them written down. But before we get going, and before I introduce Elaine to take over for me, I would love each of you to introduce yourselves and do it very briefly if you can. If you have a timer, time yourself for 1 minute. And if somebody is good at timing, you might help out. And if you are giving your little introduction and you see somebody go like this, it means your time's up. I actually downloaded a timer onto my Zoom, and it's so annoying that I hide it. I put it I put it in the waiting room. So, okay. So when you introduce yourself, just say your name and where you live, and then answer this question. And of course, what I'm showing on my screen is not the question that we changed it to, Elaine.
Do you want
Wouldn't
me to
you know
help?
it? Why don't you ask the question?
Wonderful. In addition to your name, I really would love to know what your work is. And the question is, where are you in video in relation to your business? That will be wonderful.
Say it again, please. I can hardly hear you, Elaine.
Oh, I'm sorry. Let me get, I'm going to do something here and I'm going to come closer. I love your name, your business, and where are you in relation to video
relation.
with your
Yes.
with your business?
Got it.
Yes.
Okay,
And
okay.
and I would say that if you don't think of your creative endeavor as a business
Ooh,
right now, think of it as your creative endeavor. Where are you in relation with video, in relation to your creative endeavor, your book, your artwork, your whatever it is that you do, your coaching practice, whatever your creative endeavor is. Okay, so you got that? Okay, so let's go first. Let's start first with Gunhild. I'm going to start it.
Okay.
Go backwards.
My name is Gunhild. I live in Norway. I am working in network marketing in an international business on test-based nutrition, which is also my background. I live on a tiny ecological farm, and I like to see that in association with the works that I do. I also write books I call myself a transformational storyteller. So I try to implement my knowledge into the books as well. When it comes to videos, I have mostly made small videos of what's going on the farm, what's happening, and not showing my face a lot. And I do understand that video will work more than blogging or something like that. And I know that I need to promote myself both in the business, network marketing business, but also in the book business. So I'm really, really glad that we're having the opportunity of working with you today.
Great. And we'll go in this order. Dee, you go next, and then JR. Can you go, Dee?
I can go.
Yes.
Hello. I'm video phobic. I'm a still photographer. Oh, my name is Dee Donnelly, and I have a portrait photography business called Shadow Dance Photography, and I've been doing portrait work for quite a number of years professionally since 2005, when I made the transition from the film darkroom to the digital darkroom. And I've avoided learning video like the plague until a few months ago. I was challenged by a sculptor friend of mine who told me that she's been very successful with showing her sculpture photographs if she can put them into a sweet, very short video presentation with a little bit of music and a few comments along the way. So she said, why don't you try it? And I said, I'm scared. She came to my house. She helped me get going. And I got lost. There you go.
You got lost. Did you, and we're going to keep going. Are you telling me you got lost in the technology?
Correct.
Very good. Good, good, good.
Okay, great. JR.
I'm Chair Armstrong from Michigan. I'm a romance and mystery writer. I have been told, and I've seen on YouTube, that authors are reading a segment of their book and it's been going well for them. I know zero about video. I've also been told that I have an awful voice and therefore I shouldn't be on video or do an audio book or anything else. So I guess I'm just here to kind of soak up the knowledge and determine where to go from there.
Great, thank you. Your voice is not awful.
So thank you.
In fact, I have so enjoyed hearing your voice. And that's,
Oh.
you know, my communication with you had always been via email or, you know, writing. I think we spoke on the phone once.
Mhm.
And so to hear your voice and to see your face, it is great.
Well, thank you.
Okay, Penny, why don't you go and then Stephanie?
Hi, I'm Penny. I live here in Nevada City, in the same area as Susan and some of the others. I live in Nevada City co-housing, which has been a great experience. If you know anybody that lives here, it's great. Getting to know people and working with people and cooperating with people. So that we really love it. I'm a mixed media artist, I would have to say, because no matter what medium I start out with, it always ends up with something else. So I would have to say mixed media. I have no idea. I don't even know if I need video. I don't know, because what would I do with it? I mean, the only video I ever do is right here on Zoom. So I think it might be possible after listening to some of this to do something like add that to my so-called portfolio. That's all.
You've given me some ideas.
Yeah.
And Penny, I love the question. Why video? Everybody, we have to find out. So
Yeah,
I love that. Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Well, okay, well, that's me, and I'm glad I'm here.
Thank you. Okay, Stephanie?
Hey, I'm Stephanie Bisceglia. I live in San Jose, California, Silicon Valley, as I call it. I am a holistic wellness consultant, nutritional coach, and educator. I'm also a Kairos therapy instructor, which is an emotional healing work, and a practitioner and a mentor to students who want to become practitioners. I've been at it for over 40 years and probably my whole life, without realizing it. I'm also super duper into the environment, and I have for Gunhild, my food forest is coming up. So I'm using cardboard and chicken manure and all kinds of stuff. And it's really, I've already had a couple cucumbers, got lots of tomatoes. I have a lot of herbs planted this year, more than I've planted in a long time. And I'm looking for more space in my backyard to plant more stuff. But I do massive amounts of research on nutrition and looking for nutritional supplementation that is plant-based, vine ripened, and also fermented, which our gut needs, because that's where our immune system is, in case somebody didn't know that. And anyway, I'm really passionate about that, and especially doing research. So I've also been working with stem cell activation patches, which are made from organic amino acid crystals, and they help bring your dormant stem cells, wake them up so they repair damaged cells, and also make new ones if we need new ones. So I guess I would say overall, my life is about helping people stay younger as we get older. I'm going on 83, and my plan is to live to around 150. So I hope some of you guys are going to stay here with me.
And Stephanie, while you're still here,
Video.
Yeah, tell me.
Yeah, I'm the biggest techie dummy on the planet, and not an insult to myself, but I've had no interest I am looking at, I talked with Susan about getting a link so that because I have to do a conference with some women in Connecticut on the stem cell patches. And also I've been thinking about, I need to do a podcast. I don't know anything about any of that, and I've really not wanted to learn. So I've been learning little by little, dragging my feet.
But she showed up.
What happened?
But perfect. Thank you, Stephanie.
Yeah, that was great. Thank you. And we've got two more, Barbara and Sarah. So Barbara, why don't you go, and then Sarah, you can wrap it up.
Okay. I'm Barbara Worth. I do live in Nevada City as well, in California, Northern California. Beautiful. I'm looking out and watching 2 deer in my backyard right now. I live on 5 acres, which feeds my soul. I'm a watercolor pen and ink artist, and only recently have really landed on the idea that I am an illustrator, because I don't paint landscaping. I do paint animals, head up. I do illustrations, and I've become much more comfortable with that. However, I have 17 custom framed paintings, watercolors, behind a chaise behind me that I did for an art show, and did 19. That's all I had in the art show. Sold 2. I have 17 left. So they're not, I have a philosophy that my art is like a circle, and I paint, but until it goes around and lands in somebody's heart, it's not satisfying to me. So to get those 17 out, I started concentrating on Pinterest. Well, Pinterest then said, let's do stories. So I dabbled a little bit with video on a story. Didn't go anywhere with it. Then Instagram and Instagram Reels are videos. I'm really not confident in taking it from filming it to editing it to posting it. So I would love help in doing that. I consider myself an interpreter or a translator as far as what I paint gives voice. It touches your feelings, and it gives you a voice for saying what comes up for you. My art is called happy art. People say, oh my gosh, it's so happy. So I love that. But video is definitely a part of what I see in the future for, and let me put it this way. I went in, I'm an interior designer who in 2008, the economy put a gate up. So I transferred into art, and I did it for the wrong reason, because I did it for selling an income instead of sharing. And I have now repositioned that, but I have to remind myself, share, don't sell. So video is big. Yeah.
Really, really interesting. I mean, there's just pay dirt for everyone here with everything everyone's saying.
Great. Okay, Sarah, why don't you go? And then I see that Tara popped in. And so after Sarah introduces herself, Tara, if you wouldn't mind introducing yourself. And what we're doing is we're saying who we are, our name, and where we live. And then how do you see video in terms of your business, or where you're going with your creative endeavor? And so, Sarah, go ahead and demo it.
Thank you, Susan. I'm Sarah Hart. I'm in Los Altos, California. I'm working now on my project/movement called Prime Spark, designed for women over 55. The mission of Prime Spark is to change the way our society sees and treats older women. And so that's what I am doing. I have done a fair amount of Facebook Lives For a while, I was doing them on BeLive and then putting them into Facebook. And for some reason that stopped working. So I just went back to Facebook Live. I don't know why I couldn't connect it anymore, but I couldn't. I would do more video if I could just learn how to put my video that I'm only doing it on my phone because that's the only way I seem to be able to do it right now. If I could figure out how to put my video into my YouTube channel, which I for some reason can't figure out how to do, and if I could figure out how to send it. I have done some of that for somebody else who talked me through WeTransfer, and that worked. So if I knew how to do those two things, I would be making more video because I think it's important for what I'm doing to make video. And I actually love to do it. So,
and I've seen you love to do it.
Yeah.
Great.
That's it, Susan.
Okay, and Tara, are you able to unmute yourself and say anything?
Yeah, hi.
There you are.
I
Hi,
think
Tara.
it's odd. I apologize for being on here without video, but I'm having a drug reaction, so I'm currently sporting a small watermelon beneath my double chins. So, and I'm bright red, so I'm not on video. My focus right now is I have something called Unapologetically 70ish. There's a Facebook group. Everybody's welcome to join. And I'm talking a lot about
Say it
women.
again.
Oh, it's called Unapologetically 70ish.
Got it. Thank you.
Yeah. And but my focus is women in their 70s, but I really have a specific interest in brain neurology and brain science because I'm a writer. I've been working in the entertainment business for the last 15 years in the studios. And of course, that all fell apart. And so I'm using my background in entertainment. I was trained as an attorney. So I'm using that to just to see if I can get into some programs that help women in their 70s work on their brain. And there seems to be a lot of them popping up. So I want to be a demonstrator of, just someone showing that program. I'm not thinking as clearly because of this drug reaction. Spokesperson, thank you. Yes, and I have a lot of contacts in different networks and things, so I'm pretty sure I can do it. I've talked with a lot of people. I just have to find the right connections. So that's me in a nutshell. Feel welcome to join.
Great, thank you. I'm so glad you're here. I'm thrilled that you're here. I wish we could see you, but I certainly understand the reason why you don't want to be seen at the moment. But hopefully you'll be coming back again and we'll see you another time. So I'll just quickly say that I'm Susan Davis and I am in Nevada City as well, Sierra Foothills of California. And I have made the decision to get back on the stage. I did a lot of public speaking and enjoyed it a whole lot before I moved up to Nevada City. So that was 6 years ago. I did a little bit when we got here, but not much. I sort of let my biz partner, Betty Louise, take center stage because she's really good at being an MC and she's just very outgoing, and she, her style is perfect for what we are doing with our philanthropic project. And so I made the decision, okay, I got to get back out there. I have fun being in public. And also now everything is so virtual as well and video oriented. with YouTube and FaceTime and, you know, and these podcasts that aren't podcasts, they're video things. And I want to have the right presence for what I do. I want it to match my brand, which is me. And it's not serious, and it's not, you know, it's fun. And so that I'm most comfortable when I am me and I'm talking about things I love. And so that's my interest now in video. And I was just, when I met Elaine, and the way that happened was really interesting. We are both in two groups of women, business people, and all kinds of really amazing businesses. And both of these groups are just, they're wonderful. They're very organized and supportive and just wonderful groups. One is Katarina Rando's Thriving Women in Business. And it's a gigantic group. I mean, there's 4,000 plus. I think Sarah's there. Sarah's worked with Katarina, and so Sarah's part of that group. The other one is Gather, Tracy Roots group, Gather. And again, she's sort of an offshoot of Katarina. Katarina's her coach. And so she's formed this group that's a few years old now. And I joined recently and I love it. So I saw Elaine pop up on both places. So when Elaine popped up on one of these, one or the other of these places, or both, with her offer to come and experience her Eventbrite event, where you ask questions about video, I thought, okay, that sounds like it'd be good to do. And I went, and oh my gosh, it was so, I learned so much. First of all, our first one, it was just Elaine and me. So I had like a private coaching call. It was great. And then the second one I went to, there was another young woman on it, fascinating young woman doing amazing things, of course. And she asked some really good questions that I hadn't even thought about. I got lots of tips that I've put into use already. And so when I was thinking about our group, I thought, oh my goodness, Elaine's a perfect one to come talk to us. And then I started following her on Instagram and talk about how to use video on Instagram. You must go to her Instagram feed, follow her, and watch all these little short videos. You will get so much good information, and they're short, and you get to see her have such wonderful presence. And so I highly recommend that too. And so I'm super excited about having you here. This is just great. And I have my little piece of confetti on my
Oh, that's so great. Yes, yes, yes. We'll share that. I'll tell people about that. Wonderful, wonderful.
Okay, so why don't you take it over? If you need me to do anything, just ask, but I'll just let you have the stage.
Bless your heart, Susan, and thank you for having me. And I'm so appreciative of who's shown up, and even at the thought maybe Penny won't even use video and she's curious. So I really respect that. And I got a lot of information from you all. So we're going to see what I can remember, and what I can't, you're going to remind me. But I heard some very important things I want to address. First of all, we're definitely going to talk about how in the world do you share a video? And if you've got it on your phone, how do you get it on your computer so you can send it to YouTube and make it easier on yourself? We're going to talk about the difference in the energetic from being on a stage and being in this frame, and how video is a different medium than speaking on a stage. We're going to also talk about the fact that I hear you. Technology it's daunting. And I am a big believer in making it the simplest for yourself as possible, so that you are actually getting on with the business of doing what you really do and not turning yourself into a videographer. That is not your job. You want to get video working for you with the fewest bells and whistles, so you're seen, so you're heard, so you can get your story out there respectably, and then, you know, really focus on what you do. And Sean, I see you there, and welcome.
Oh, yeah, great.
Sorry, I'm late.
That's okay. We'll let Elaine
We're going to
continue,
circle back around.
and then we'll
Sean,
we'll
we're
have
going to
you
circle back around. I'm not going to let you be left out. We're
Oh, thank you.
just starting to talk. And we've heard about everyone and their relationship to video within their business. We're going to start just going from the ground up. And I want to tell you one of the first things.
Oh, golly, what happened?
Are you okay?
Hang on.
Okay. Here's one of the
Weird.
first things I want to share.
There you go.
We have had a great kind of thing happen with the pandemic. We wound up in Zoom, and Zoom is our friend, because there is a new relationship to the resolution within Zoom. It's not quite the resolution as our phones, but when we see people coming in from Skype, right on to being an expert on a news station, we're used to this new sensibility visually. And it's allowed for something that maybe was a little off before. When we did our videos before, we were using our phone, good resolution, kind of, you know, as much as crisp and clean and clear as possible. And now, a slightly different variation in resolution, not quite as crisp, not quite as clear, has become respectable. It's become part of our visual that we're more used to. And it's my way of saying Zoom is our friend, because there's a lot of recording that can go on right here. And if you see some video tips or a couple of interviews, I mean, some of them are longer. I did an interview that's 8 minutes on Instagram, you know, pick out a smaller one, a shorter one. They're almost predominantly on Zoom since the beginning of the pandemic. My last one on my phone was at the very top of the pandemic, and then I got in here. So that is a good thing. Now, maybe we're in Zoom. By the same token, we want to make certain that we've got a good camera in here. If we are too out of focus, we can't reach you. We can't connect to you as well. This is a visual, visceral thing. So there is still that sense that we want to reach out and touch someone. So if our camera isn't quite good enough, then we get a webcam. I've got a webcam on right here, and it makes that difference just to make sure the resolution is a little bit better. But because there is that ability to be a little bit used to Zoom, there we are. There's that record button right down there. And not only that, this is our private rehearsal room too. We can record, check ourselves out. What do we think of what we just said? Think about what we want to say, and then see ourselves. We're going to talk about sharing, but there's one, we're going to get very basic. Light and sound. Yes, Sarah.
I'm sorry, Elaine. It is very hard to understand you. And it's easier when you're really close in. And so if you just get as close in as possible.
I'm going to, is this helping? Is this helping?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
One more.
I'm real close. I'm sorry I'm in your face. but this hopefully will help you hear me. And
I have a question.
yeah,
Susan,
yes, Stephanie.
recording this? Is this being recorded, Susan?
Yes.
Thank you. Okay.
So the first, at the very preliminaries, we want to make certain that we've got some good light on us. And everybody does or doesn't have the best setup. And you've got to find your setup. And I know so many of you are artists. And if there's any chance that you have a laptop and you switch your position so you're facing natural light, you look gorgeous. You know, you find your light. And if you don't, maybe you find something like a little LED where you find your light to help you that way. But I'm gonna tell you also something very interesting in Zoom. I'm gonna show you something. We're just gonna focus on lighting for a few more minutes. I'm gonna go into, you know where you see in your toolbar below stop video and there's a little upward area, arrow. There's all kinds of interesting things in that setting. Sarah, are you hearing me any better? Are you hearing me any better, Sarah?
I can hear you really well, Elaine. It's just, it's very muffled. And so it sort of fades in and out of getting clearer and more muffled. And
That's something I don't know.
it may just be me.
I am hearing you well.
So
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, it is something between how our systems are relating, which is a shame. And we'll talk about sound. But anyway, I'm going to tell you right while we're in Zoom, the little upward area that takes you to video settings. So in video settings, I'm going to show you something. Under video, there you get to the general settings, and that second tab says video. And that's where you have a chance to mirror your video so you look like yourself when you look in the mirror, or not, however you want to do that. But there's touch up appearance. And I want to show you something. I'm going to lower the caliber on my touch up appearance. And I want to show you the light it creates and when I change. And I'm going to take it a little lower and a little lower. And I'm going to keep going lower. And I'm getting a little grayer, but I'm also getting a little. And I want you to see it. First of all, I have to tell you, I believe when I make it lower, I actually have more credibility because I think showing more of my age is pretty cool. Do I do it for every audience? Not necessarily. I'm a former actress. I'm still a little bit in love with, Make Me Beautiful DeMille, but I'm going to go lower. And now there's no touch up, different woman a little bit. And that is when I might want to make myself feel better by maybe I choose, forgive me, it's tuned for my green screen. It's not what I would normally use. I mean, it's so hot, but you could see where I might counterbalance it with other light. But what is incredible about this touch-up feature is in kind of this self-correction that it kind of smooths the skin, but it does give this kind of cosmetic lit quality. So that is just something for you to be aware of. I also want to talk to you a little bit about a real green screen or not a real green screen. First of all, Sarah has a blurred background. I'm in love with the blurred background. You can only do it with a Zoom's virtual green screen. I have a real green screen. Sadly, the blur does not work with a real green screen. So let me show you something. We might as well figure out some of this, just so if this ever comes up for you. So here I am. I'm going to show you. It is a real green screen. You can reach out and touch it. Let's see. Will it do a blur? It did a blur, but let me show you what happens. Blur doesn't work with a green screen. Now everything's fake. Now I look like I'm in ectoplasm. So I'm going back to none and choosing here's one. I'm not weird. I don't have that ectoplasm. And I'm going to go back to the one I had, or actually a brand new one I have, if I can find it. Well, it doesn't matter. This is fine. My point being, depending upon what your needs are, if you decide to do video and you decide to, find your light, and all of a sudden behind me doesn't work, what do I do behind me? In case you need a green screen, this is very useful, and it could be one of your beautiful paintings if you're an artist. Maybe it's a book cover. But I want to say something about Sarah. She has a blur, and it's a virtual one. It's not a real green screen, but here's the reason Sarah is so lucky. She has straight hair. She has a gorgeous head, and look how real it looks with the blurred background. It doesn't look like that ectoplasm thing where people get lost and stuff. It's the nature. First of all, it can vary with your computer. It's a good computer. It likes the program. Not every computer does. And she has an easier time than someone with curly hair. Now, we're going to move on because this may or may not be your needs. But I will say, think about your lighting, think about your positioning, and then think about your sound. There's a couple of things about sound, and you want to test yourself. Get into your Zoom room, start doing some recording, test your voice, and then listen to the recordings. How do you sound? Do you sound good? Or do you find all of a sudden, maybe, you know what? Something about the sound is okay. Maybe it's not great enough. Do I need a little something that picks up my sound better, really makes me sound professional? And the thing that's nice about that, what's wonderful in video, is when we feel like you're in our ear. It takes it to a whole other level. We start just feeling like you're right in there. And Stephanie, when you were talking before and introducing yourself, really check your sound. The nature of your hallway from the staircase, it could be very hollow. Last time when we were on together, you sounded great. Today there was some weird sound. So just check out your sound too. The basics of wanting to be seen and heard are so important for your audience. It just makes everything easier for us.
I usually use earbuds, and I'm house sitting and dog sitting, and I left.
There you go. There's the difference. Yeah.
I know it makes a difference. It makes a difference in the quality of what I'm hearing as well.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Then, even before we get a little bit further, how we frame ourselves in here, or on our phones. Our phones have a little bit more variety. We can take it outside and maybe we're walking with it, and that's a whole other thing. But here we are, and I'm just going to say, I'm just going to speaker view for a moment. How we frame ourselves has a lot to do with how credible we appear. D, look for stop video. Okay. So let's say I'm a little, not so good. It's almost like, Elaine, take your space, claim it. There's something to be said when we come front and center and own it. It isn't only for our audience, really does something to our own energy. And it really can be very empowering. and add to our confidence. There were so many questions before, and there are so many things we can discuss. I will say, I'm thinking about Barbara and thinking about stories. You know, that's the stories to me. They're almost like a little bit of graduate school. Stories are not easy. Stories are not easy, and I'm techie. I'm really techie. I've been doing some stories on Instagram, and I certainly have done some stories on Facebook, but the bells and whistles of a certain label and making it gorgeous, I'm the first to tell you, that is not, that's not where I live. I'm really about how we come into focus here. I will admit that. I really am. I'm about us, our relationship to the camera, our relationship to our audience, and our content coming into focus so that we really come beyond the screen, that we connect, that we resonate, that we reach people. I know stories a little bit, but I'm telling you, I think stories are graduate school. In terms of sharing a video, because I don't want to forget these things, and Sarah, I don't want to forget these things. So for instance, let's say, and we haven't even gotten to the point yet of do we or don't we do video? We're going to talk. But let's say you've got a video. You know what? You've decided, I really went for it. And Penny said to herself, you know what? I'm just going to have the camera while I'm painting. I just wanted to show my process. And I love the fact that maybe important words that you want to say come up and come out of focus again. And maybe you're doing something else, and something important you believe about your art comes onto the screen in some words and then disappears again. That could be a beautiful way for you to express yourself. Maybe that's something you post. I mean, I don't know if on a website. Maybe, Barbara, we find some way for you to take those things from behind the couch and find a way to start visually putting them, even speaking about them. Maybe you speak about a different one each time. We're going to have to think about what happens if they're reflecting. Is there glass? Are they reflecting? What do we do? And are they non-reflective or are they reflective? Holy moly, what do we do? So there's things to think about. But in terms of Jan, do you sit? You choose a passage. There is something we have to think about, all of the different little hurdles we go over in terms of someone says, I don't have a good voice. Put it aside. Let them say what they think. That's just fine. That, an audio book, leave it to an actor. That's fine. There's something very important about the voice of the author. And there's a different expectation. There's an expectation that you are this person behind the page, that you are not somebody who is expressive through the spoken word. That is okay. That's kind of a neat thing. We're hearing the author speak it. There's an acceptability. There's something interesting that we find in that this is not a performer. That's cool. I find that interesting. And how do you want to frame that? How do you want to set that scene for you speaking a page? While we think about those variations of what we could do, and Gunhild, how you somehow marry the outdoors with the wisdom of your health knowledge. Is there a bridge or are they separate? Do they somehow evoke something very similar? Because those outdoors bring food to your table that is incredibly healthy. That is a merger. However, and Stephanie's, her health, Dee and her photographs. Sean, remind me what you do, Sin. It's okay. We'll get to her. My point being, once that video is decided, okay, I recorded it here in Zoom. You have the choice to put it on the Zoom cloud or on your desktop. I want it on my desktop. I only get so much room in the Zoom cloud. And pretty much soon they're going to say, pay us more to house this, and there's no need. I want it on my desktop. Sarah has decided she did a recording and it's on her phone. She wants to get it to YouTube. The one on my desktop, I want to get to YouTube. So how do we find the ways to move this recording around so we get it where we want it? To either work on it, to send it to an editor. I have a fabulous video editor. I love her, responsive, wonderful. If you can find someone for $50 an hour, go to them. She's $50 an hour. So let's take the first one. We've got a recording on Zoom on our desktop. Now, I want to share it with my editor because she's going to help me, make the changes. And Sarah experienced WeTransfer. WeTransfer is wonderful. I'm going to tell you something maybe even that much simpler. Does everyone have a Gmail account? No. Okay. Good. And it's so easy. It's so easy. Sarah, get a Gmail account, and I'll tell you why. It all incorporates in, you get into your Gmail, and up in the right-hand corner, all those little dots in a square. You click on that, that whole menu comes down, and you've got a colorful triangle, Google Drive. Google Drive is how we can share video. Google Drive, here you go. You've got your video right on your desktop. Open Google Drive. Minimize it a bit. You can drag it right into Google Drive. There it is on a cloud for you. If not, you can upload it. They'll give you the option to upload it right from your desktop. And there you are. Now, what allows you to share it is the fact that once you've got that video up there, whether you're on a PC and you're right-clicking and you get that menu, share, or it's a little different configuration if you're on a Mac and you share, however you get that menu. It's been a while since I've had a Mac. You can share that link with someone. You can share it with another person. Maybe you want to send it somewhere. But there's also another great thing. Whether you've sent it to Drive from your desktop or Sarah, you're going to be thrilled. You're going to have a Gmail account on your phone. It's an iPhone, isn't it? Yes. And guess what? You're going to have an iPhone app, G Drive, Google Drive. And you're going to be able, when you push on that, click on that video, and the little share configuration comes up, that little icon, and you click share, all of a sudden, you're going to see Google Drive as a choice. And if you don't, you're going to go to your iPhone Apple Store. You're going to get the free app to add that to your phone desktop. And once again, either way, you're going to put it on the cloud that way. It allows you to not only share it and get it on the cloud, but it now allows Sarah to take it from Drive on her computer to work with it on her desktop. If she wants to make any changes, do anything with it. And I personally love working on a desktop, a larger space to share to YouTube. And YouTube Is it, and believe me, I'm talking a long time. Please unmute yourselves. If it's better that we have a conversation, I'm happy to do it because I'm following some of the labyrinth of what you mentioned when you introduced yourselves, but I want to make sure it's still addressing your needs. So there you are. Let's say you want to put something on YouTube. Have you got a channel? Yes, Sarah, talk to me.
Yeah, so I'm in Drive on my phone. I'm in Google Drive in my phone. And I can get onto Google Drive. I do have a Gmail account. I just don't use it, but I have it. And I do Google Drive on my computer. So but what I don't understand, and maybe you just said this, Elaine, but so so it's on. I'm looking at my phone in Google Drive. How do I get it from there to YouTube?
Wonderful. When you go into the video, do you want to send it to your computer before sending it to YouTube, or no? You just want to send it to YouTube from your phone?
Yeah, I just want to send it to YouTube.
Very good. You're going to go to YouTube, and when you open up YouTube, now I haven't been on, I have to look at YouTube. It's been a long time since I've been on my phone uploading there. You're going to look, it's going to say, you're going to go to your channel, and it's going to say, there's going to be a little something, say add video, a little plus with a little camera. Should I go with there right now and look? Let's see. Let's look at YouTube. I'm going to YouTube. I'm at my channel. Let me go to my channel. Come on, open. Good, good. Elaine Hausman, your channel. Okay, let's look right here. Look right at the bottom, and I bet it's the same as an iPhone. You see a plus. It's not unlike adding something on Instagram where you want to post something from your phone. There's a little plus. And when you choose plus, it's going to open, upload a video. When you do that, you're going to have the choice right on your phone to tap the video you want that's going to upload.
I have a video. I think I loaded it into the library already. If I didn't, I will, of a step-by-step how to do a YouTube video, how to upload to
Wonderful.
YouTube. And I'll be sure to post that and maybe even do another one. If I'll have to, I did it quite a while ago, so I'm not sure how, it may be too long. I can shorten it up. But I think, you know, the tech stuff, that's really, it stumps a lot of people. So we will make sure that there are step-by-step how to do stuff in the library for the Posting with Purpose Play Shop members. And
could I add, Susan? Could I just add, I go into more technical things in my Let's Talk video workshop. I really do. Then, one moment, Tara. One moment. And in that workshop, and then we start talking about views, where to post, which page, different platforms. Where do you want to house videos at YouTube or Vimeo? The pros and cons, all those kind of things. So that's where, so maybe I'll get more on track with less technology and get into a little bit more of what goes on in here. But Tara, ask, and Susan, don't forget what you were going to say. I interrupted you.
Well, I just wanted to make sure, I see in the chat that it's getting super late in Norway. And and I know that Gunhild sent those questions.
Oh, let's see.
So maybe we should address those questions and then we can circle back to other ones.
Gunhild, will you tell me your questions? So I won't read them. I want to hear them from you.
Okay. The first thing is, as I have this combination, you know, of wanting to get my as a person out there for potential partners in the network business, but still as me. And also I want me to come out as the writer of these different books. And I would love it if I could do the same thing, if it could be me instead of something here, something there, if you see what I mean, in
Not
different channels.
exactly, not exactly. So I want to hear clearer what you mean in terms of, are you saying you want to do videos where you're talking as opposed to showing things?
I thought that maybe I could do both.
Right?
That I engage more in the videos, and I could even make them a little bit longer, or make them and then still do a blog post or something like that if I want to.
Are you saying you want to incorporate your speaking and possibly in other words, are you talking about editing where one moment you're speaking and then you've taken video of something else that you want to edit together? Or are you saying you want to speak while you're moving outdoors? I'm not clear.
It's okay.
Forgive me.
One of my questions were actually if I can do videos without speaking, just showing, because if I want to do double sets of what I do, one Norwegian, one English, I wouldn't have, you know, I could use the same video and then do something in writing or something like that additionally. That was one idea.
Let me just mention something, and I don't think I'm not being helpful yet, but let me mention one thing, Gunhild. Are you aware that at least on YouTube, that you can create closed captions and you can have them in as many languages as you need? And depending upon where you post them, you can, for instance, when it's on YouTube, those captions that you want, you can have those right there. You can even edit them if they've made errors to the automatic ones. But you could even say, if you decided to post it elsewhere and you knew it was a certain audience, below in the comments or even above in the written word above your video, please click below for the Swedish version. And on another one, please click below for the English version, so that you have the option for them to be reading whatever's right for that particular audience.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, do you know that already?
And not the way you're telling it, no.
Okay. And I want you to know something also. There's something called, we're getting very technical, and I didn't mean to be going down this rabbit hole, but let me for a moment. There's something called an SRT file. The captions can be created automatically, and you can ask for them in more than one language. But what happens is the automated captions have errors. So you go in after they're created and correct them. They're not even in sentence form. How far you want to go in creating sentence form is up to you. But what happens is it's an SRT file is created. And that allows you to take that file, and you have to name the file in a certain way. So for English in the United States, here it is. It's an SRT file. Underscore EN. Let me look. I'll have to show you. Do I have it? SRT. I'll find it right here. Okay. So the file will be captions dot EN means English, underscore capital US means United States dot SRT. It will be configured based on the language and where you're posting.
Okay.
And keep this in mind also. Let's say you're posting to Facebook. They will automatically caption for you as well. And again, you can edit in there.
But does that mean that you would have, or I would have an English YouTube channel and a Norwegian one?
Wonderful question. Wonderful question. I believe, and I'm going to cross-check. I believe that you can have one channel, and now it depends. That's a great question, because if you're actually speaking in Norwegian and you really want to reach your English people, do they want to hear you talk in English? And maybe that connection happens better. I'm wondering. The good news is, if you have two channels, I mean, the good news, well, you really are doing double the work. I'm the first to admit it.
You can create playlists within your channel. And so that might be the way to do it, is you would have your Norwegian playlist and you would have your English playlist. You could even categorize it. You could have your network marketing playlist, and you could have your book playlist. And then you could have another playlist that was maybe, you know, something else. You can have unlimited playlists. And YouTube actually likes that, especially if you get a lot of views. And that's always the challenge with every social media platform, no matter what we're posting, is how do we get engagement and views? And so I would think, going back to your idea, Gunhild, of do I do this or do I do that? I think that it seems to me that the more creative you get with it, and you would need an editor, a good editor could make a really engaging short little video of maybe, and I, you know, no longer than 8 minutes, 8 to 10 minutes for YouTube, and do it, you know, do it with both, but edit it in so that it's in and out.
Elaine, can I
Yes.
ask a question?
Please.
What is your thought about repurposing one video that any of us would make, and then doing different voiceover, so that that same video of my painting, then I could voice over with an idea, and then same video and voice over something else. So now I can build more videos. What's your thought?
Wonderful question. And I don't want to forget, Tara had a question I never answered. Barbara, you know what? I'm going to say go by your gut. And I think repurposing needs some room, because, oh, she's saying these wonderful new things, but we've seen those pictures before. I wanted to see different.
Okay.
So think about that.
Okay.
Do think about that. I mean, we're oftentimes out here looking for what's new she's going to bring to us.
True.
So
True.
Do think about that.
Okay, but would that work for Gunhild to do voiceovers, one in English, using the same video voiceover for Norwegian?
Yeah.
Great
Same.
question.
Yeah. She could, it's a lot of
Beautiful.
work.
If she's not speaking, it's brilliant. I'm getting it. It's brilliant. It's brilliant. You don't have to speak. Yeah. And we're seeing you, and we're getting, I'm in love. I love that.
Okay.
It's sort of like the idea of a B-roll.
Yes.
You know, when you are watching the news, and they have the anchor who's telling the story, and then they switch to the B-roll, which is actually the video of the story. So they go in, you know, he's talking about mushroom growers and how they're, you know, it's taking off in Nevada County. And then they switch over to a place where they're growing mushrooms and they are maybe talking to the people, or maybe not. Maybe it's just video of the place. So you can get really creative. I mean, to me, that kind of thing lights me up, because then it's like you're creating a piece. In terms of the repurposing, interesting. I got up at 4 a.m. today to take a 6-hour class on repurposing. And I got through 4 hours of it, 4.5 hours of it. And then I had to get dressed and get going. So I'm going to go back and watch the last of it. But I realized when I got to the 4.5 hour point, what he was doing was he was recording 4.5 hours or 6 hours of this masterclass. And what he's going to do with it is he's going to pull it apart and he's going to edit it into massive social media posts, videos of different sizes, with different headlines, with different, he's going to multi-purpose that very long recording. And so you could do the same thing if you took a long recording of showing your artwork and showing your studio and talking about this and talking about that. It doesn't even have to be make a whole lot of sense in terms of a timeline, because what you can do is you can take that, let's say you film for an hour doing a lot of different things, then you hire the $50 an hour editor and you sit down with the editor and you say, well, this is what I want. And then you pull it apart and the editor puts it all together the way you want it to be. You don't have to be a filmmaker. That's the thing. Tech gets overwhelming unless it's a toy for you. For me, it's a toy. I love it. I love putting stuff together and editing and doing that. But for you guys, that's not your thing. You get all frustrated. So give it to somebody else. Your thing is you and your creative endeavor. What you do, you paint, you write, you coach, you sing, you do all of these things amazingly. But what you don't do is tech. So have somebody else do the tech part.
Barbara, I also wanted to say that you were asking if you could use the same pictures for more than one thing. And I would say absolutely, because this is joy. Was that joy or fun or whatever you said, with different lighting, or you take the picture to different places, or when people have a new book and they this is the book in Paris and this is the book here, is the book there, and you can do it in the garden, you could do it whatever, and use that as an introduction to what you wanted to say in a new angle for your picture.
I'm in a room of creatives. That was so beautiful. Oh my God. Yes, Penny. And Tara, yes, Penny.
When you were talking about, I thought it was a good idea. Maybe it was Susan who was saying film for maybe an hour and then put it in. I think that's a good idea. But who would be filming this? I mean, I'm not sure I would be comfortable, like say if my husband was filming it. I mean, I might say things to an audience of artists that I would feel uncomfortable if he's standing there with this phone. I mean, I don't know. How do you film something even?
I don't have all of my gear to show you. Again, it's a workshop I do, but I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna give you the back entrance to the gear page on my website, and I'll put it in the chat. And you're gonna see different stands, literally where you would have, you would have your phone on a stand focused while you're working. And I'll tell you something, there's also a phenomenal thing called a gimbal that has also face recognition that's not so helpful actually, because it would recognize your face. It moves with you. It's like a personal mini Steadicam, but you want it on your art, so that might not work. But I'm going to put this right now to all of you.
And Penny, it could be that you do a bunch of smaller videos. So let's say you with your camera video your studio and video your artwork. And then and that's one video that's 5 minutes. And then maybe you set up your tripod so that your camera can watch you work. And
Okay.
it doesn't look at your face, because who cares about your face when you're showing you painting? And then maybe you do another 5 minutes of face to camera. And guess what? You could do face to camera on Zoom. And then your editor can take all these little pieces and put them together to make a beautiful piece. And again, you don't want long. Unless, well, that's one thing.
No, you don't want long. I agree.
You know, there's like optimum sizes for different platforms. And I would look at Elaine's Instagram, because those videos on Instagram, her whole feed is video, almost. There's a few non-video, but most of it is video. They're just the right size. They're just the right size in terms of timing. TikTok, not that any of us are on TikTok, but those videos are super short, like 10 seconds. And, you know, if you go any longer, it doesn't fit the platform or the audience. That audience has an attention span of 10 seconds. If you're 20 years old. So.
And I thought of something, Susan, I'm just going to mention. I have an artist friend who has put her stuff into a video. I'm going to find it and send it to share to everyone, Susan.
I like
It
that.
might be very informative to see what a watercolor artist did for her video. I think it could be fascinating for you to see one person's way that could, you know, inspire. Oh, I see that. I want to do this. So
here's another thing, Penny. Who's going to video me? Well, Dee could come and video you. And in fact, Barbara could probably come video you. And you could video Barbara. And you guys all live in the same area and you're all artists. So do a collaboration and exchange. Make it a party. I'll come. I'll video you.
Everything will be easier together. Tara left and I feel so badly. She had a question and I never answered it. Yes, Stephanie. There's Tara. Tara, will you unmute yourself and please ask the question you did? You said something about sharing a video.
Hi, I was just noting that you could share your screen during the period when you were looking something up.
Oh, bless you.
Yeah.
Oh, so after the fact, sorry about
Yeah,
that.
no problem. No problem. Very interesting question. Thank you.
And Stephanie, talk to me.
I have to tell you, this is like, I am in pre-kindergarten when it comes to what you're talking about. So I don't even know where to find anything to even start making a video. So I have an iPhone, but I have a desktop Dell. So and then I have an iPad, which is really old. So I feel like I need to start from scratch. And I don't know if you do that in your classes, literally from scratch.
I want to mention something, right? A couple of things. First of all, Stephanie, here you are in Zoom, and you know what? I would just practice recording yourself. Do you know how to record yourself in Zoom? Very good. At the bottom bar, the very bottom on your screen, and you see those things like record reactions, and then there's a leave button in red on the other side.
Right.
You see the record?
Mm-hmm.
Click on the record. And
Okay.
it's not going to show you right now because Susan has control because we're in a group. You're going to have the option to record. And you're going to more than likely want to save it to your desktop. It depends if you have a pro account with Zoom or you have a free account. Forget all about that. Record it. It'll save it on your desktop. What's going to happen is,
But I need to even have a link to get into Zoom first.
Stephanie, what we will
I-
do
We're gonna do
is
that.
I'll do a step by step so
Okay.
that we can start at the beginning and I can show you step by step how to do this. And then you can have that video and you can watch it and stop it and do it and watch it and stop it and do it. And that really is the best way to learn something that you're really new at, is to watch a video of doing it and then do it yourself. And we'll do that. I wish we had time to do it today, but we don't.
Okay,
And
well,
and start with it,
connect
you know,
with
I didn't realize you didn't have an account. So this is get a free account, and then Susan will take you
Yeah,
step by
we'll
step.
guide you through it.
Okay.
I think
Everything
that
is step by
I think
step.
that Gun Hill, there is a video. The very first one that in our library was Gunhild walking you through Zoom. And on that video, it tells you, Gunhild tells you how to get an account and how to, just the very, very basic. So you can watch that one first and then I can
it's
do.
in the Posting with Purpose library.
Yes, yes. It's number 1, I think, of the Boomer Zoomer meetups. So we have to wrap up, which I hate to do, but I want to say one thing that was so great that helped me with doing Zoom face to camera like I'm right now. Elaine, tell them about
Did
the
I do that?
confetti.
Okay, very good. Here's my tip I will leave you with. And we didn't even get to the part where I get to help you feel beautiful in here, just in case you have any doubt. But
You can come back.
Have me back. Sarah asked me to come back. We'll see. Okay. When you decide wherever you're going to record, first of all, the first time I got my phone, the camera, it was like a pinprick. I had no idea where to look on my phone where the lens was. I had to go to the Verizon store. I can't find out where to look. I kept looking at myself and it had nothing to do with my eyes looking at my audience. So on your phone, really find out where is your lens. Not every phone is so straightforward. And in Zoom, so for instance, I have a webcam and I'm going to show you. If I look at my webcam lens, does not look like I'm looking at you. Now, guess what? Where I do feel like I'm looking at you and you can feel some connection with me is a confetti-sized piece of the edge of a sticky note that I have in the middle of my monitor. It has no relation to anything. It's probably 5 inches below the lens of my webcam. So depending upon your configuration and where your computer is set up, now keep this in mind, we're together in a group here. We know we're looking at who's speaking. It's understandable. But when it comes to talking on a video and really being with your audience, we want to find your spot. We want to find that portal where you reach them. And it isn't always the lens of your camera. Sometimes you're lucky with the configuration. Other times you may not be. So what you'll do is go into Zoom, and I'm praying you've got a free account by the time you try this. You're going to go into Zoom and start recording and talk yourself through. I think it's here. I'm looking about 3 inches above this. Okay, I'm moving a little over here. And I just moved down there. Stop the recording, go out, and then go back in and watch yourselves as you've talked yourself through it to realize, oh my God, it's right there. I'm going to put it there. Cross check. Go back in again. Have I really got it or am I off? But it is a wonderful way of finding that spot because so often you can see people in Zoom, maybe even presenting. Some of the time I am looking at you. Other times I want you all feeling like I'm with you. I am looking at a little orangish edge of a sticky note. Find that spot, and that's the first thing that will begin that connection and that relationship. Helpful?
Yes.
Good. Fine. Finally, some pager. Because we
Yeah.
got, boy, we were just in the thick of technology. Could I leave them with one more thing? I'm going to leave you
Absolutely.
with one more thing. And it has to do with finding ourselves in here. And that is the most important thing, because this needs to start feeling like a coming home. We want to feel like ourselves in here so that we are, in contact with our audience. We bring ourselves to them. So here is a recipe or a prescription. Every day, 5 minutes every day, go to your mirror and study your face. Look at every aspect of your face objectively. Really study that woman. And if you have a medicine cabinet with a mirror that opens onto your regular mirror and you see yourself in reverse, it's that much more objectifying. It's not a requirement, but it's interesting. But study your face. And there's something that happens over those 30 days. What we don't always realize is that part of our disconnection in here is that we carry a younger version of ourselves in our mind's eye than we actually appear to others. And you may know this as artists, you're perceivers. And I mean book writers as well as, painters. You have an artistic sensibility. And what happens is when you kind of start that merger and you really come into yourself, I realized who I was thinking in my brain that was supposed to be here was 60 years old, and I was 68. And I realized that some of that disconnect is because I wasn't seeing her. And in that merger, in that finding yourself where you are here and now, there's some falling in love, a lot of self-acceptance. There's a lot of kindness to this exercise. So I couldn't recommend more taking the journey. It's a beautiful journey so that when you're in here and when you land, you really know who you are more than maybe you thought you did. I know you know your work, but we don't all know ourselves in the visual world. And it's a wonderful way to find yourself. I had to say it. We're 2 minutes over. I never even said, Sian, welcome. There wasn't enough time.
Well, I was late and I apologize to all of you.
Well,
Welcome.
thank you so much. You were so awesome, and I want you to come back and give us more. I also will email everybody here with the link for watching this replay. I don't usually do that. The recordings are only for the people who are in the Play Shop paying members, but this was so much good stuff that I will send it to everybody. And I will also make sure that that has Elaine's website link, her Instagram link, and connect with her on Facebook, on Instagram. Also, your workshop. I will send the link for that and get on her list. So go on her website and fill out the form that's there to get on her list, because that way she can keep you updated on when the workshops are and when the quick Q&A calls are, and you guys can follow up and stay connected, because she's got so much good stuff.
But I loved everyone's contribution. I mean, Susan and then Barbara and good. It was like this creative thing going on. You opened my eyes too. So it was a beautiful thing.
Well, good.
You'll get some rest.
We are chronologically gifted, creative women or women creatives. And we all, every single one of you has done so many awesome things throughout your entire life, and you're still doing it. And so getting out there and being seen and being heard, having your passion and your purpose expressed in the magnificence that you are is worthy. It's worthwhile to do, because that's how you're going to communicate and shift people's perceptions about whatever it is you're trying to do. And so that's what we're all about. And thank you so much, Elaine, for coming. And we want you back. And
Thank you.
thank you all for showing up. I want to do a Katarina Rando trick. Take a screenshot. Let's see.
I'm thrilled.
Of everybody.
We were here.
So smile, everybody smile. I'll do another one just in case you were not prepared, like me. Whoops. Why am I pressing wrong here? Oh, I've had my fingers on the wrong thing. Okay, there we go. That's great.
Oh,
Thank
good.
you. That was great to have you. And it was so much fun, Barbara, for you and Penny to
Thank you.
come.
Thank you.
And
Thank you. Thank
Stan
you.
again.
Thank you guys very much.
Okay, great.
great.
I'm gonna
I will
stop.
think of you, Elaine, every time as I look at the dot on my screen. Thank you.
Find your piece. Find your piece. Your audience will just
I will.
zoom in with you.
Reminder to
Thank you, thank
Susan,
you.
you have to tell me what that's about.
We will.
Watch the
Bless you.
replay.
Thanks, Susan.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Susan.
Okay,
I'm gonna
bye-bye.
give Susan lots of
Thank you.
information
Bye-bye.
to shore.